Welcome, class of 2024. Brophy freshmen, we're so excited to have you coming into the Brophy community. Welcome to the class of 2024 and your families. I'm Mr. Paul Fisco with the Office of Faith and Justice. I'm the director of that office, which is going to be a huge part of your faith formation so that you can be committed to doing justice and so many more things here at Brophy. I'm here today to make sure that you take a quick tour of the Office of Faith and Justice, all the expectations and invitations that we're going to give to you and your families to get involved and make sure that we are a part of a faith that does justice. So again, I'm Mr. Fisco with the Office of Faith and Justice, and right here with me, really important guy. First of all, St. Ignatius of Loyola. Right here on our campus, we're always reminded of his legacy. St. Ignatius of Loyola, famous for founding the Jesuit order, or the Society of Jesus, in the 16th century. He underwent this powerful conversion and decided that in his life, he was going to live AMDG, Ad Maiorem Dei Gloriam, for the greater glory of God. He's got a lot to offer us as we know what it means to be a part of the Brophy community. So, Ignatius founded the Society of Jesus, and of course the Society of Jesus is still with us. And they're the reason that your school, Brophy College Preparatory, even exists. Really important then that you remember, with the Office of Faith and Justice, we're going to remind you that it's our faith that has given us the background, the tradition, to go on and do great things. So remember, because someone believed so powerfully in God, a relationship with Jesus, and to do things for God's greater glory, that's the reason your school exists. So welcome to Brophy College Preparatory as we continue our tour. Oh, what? Sorry, hold on one second. He's saying something to me. Hold on. What? Oh. Thanks. It's a mint. Sacraments, really. Bad Catholic joke. All right, we'll see you soon. Hey, Brophy class of 2024. Welcome to you and your families again. I'm standing here right outside the Brophy Chapel. Don't worry, we'll be in there a little bit later. But I wanted to introduce you to somebody else who's really important. We just met St. Ignatius of Loyola, but here is the person responsible for teaming up with the Jesuits, the Society of Jesus, to in 1928 found your school, our foundress, Mrs. William Henry Brophy. To honor her late husband and to express her great faith in God, she teamed up with the Jesuits to make your school possible. So don't forget, already St. Ignatius of Loyola and Mrs. William Henry Brophy have taught us and reminded us that it's our faith that builds these great things for the greater glory of God. It's also important to remember that men and women have fully contributed to the legacy, the tradition, the greatness of your school. Mrs. William Henry Brophy, St. Ignatius of Loyola, Jesuits who have taught here at the school, your faculty, the staff, the administration, even your parents and all the people involved in Brophy are living as men and women with and for others, expressing our faith. Don't forget that. We'll talk more about where that phrase, men and women with and for others, comes from in a little bit. All right, we'll see you soon. Hey, class of 2024, welcome. Welcome into the Keating building in the middle of campus, into the Student Activity Center, right where you can find the entrance to, the Pedro Arrupe S.J. Office of Faith and Justice. That's where I work. Actually, I have a team of people who I work with in the Office of Faith and Justice. But right now, let's take a focus on this name, Pedro Arrupe S.J. Who's that? Well, you've already met St. Ignatius Loyola. You met Mrs. William Henry Brophy. But now, let's focus on this guy. See, in the 20th century, the Jesuits, as they always do, elected a father general. a superior general who kind of runs as the commander of the entire Society of Jesus, helping Jesuits do their work all over the world. Well, Pedro Arrupe came into that job and was really inspired by all the things that he'd gone in through his life to make sure that the Jesuits moving forward would do things in particular ways with a particular vision. What do I mean by that? Well, you'll never guess, but Pedro Arrupe, he was actually near Hiroshima in 1945 when that first atomic bomb was dropped. You know what he did? He actually used his medical training to go and help survivors of that moment in history. It's important to remember that, of course, the Jesuits are everywhere and all the time and inspiring us to do great acts of mercy and help with whatever gifts we have. Well, when Pedro Arrupe was the Father General, he gave lots of great speeches and did a lot of great things, but the one that he's most known for, and right now his process of canonization has labeled him a servant of God on his way to being beatified and maybe canonized a saint. Well, Pedro Arrupe coined this phrase that he hoped that anyone associated with a Jesuit institution, whether it be a school or a parish or some sort of advocacy or outreach program, that they should be men and women for others. Our orientation is to do what we can in love for those who are in need, for other people. So, as a Brophy student, class of 2024, that's what you've got to do. Your goal, your biggest goal here at Brophy, is to really remember to always act as a man for others. Faculty, staff, everyone here tries to make sure we live up to that standard. Are we men and women with and for others? Well, welcome to the Office of Faith and Justice. We're going to take a look inside and see what we can find. All right, see you in a bit. Hey, class of 2024, welcome into the office. Anytime you come into the Office of Faith and Justice, there's going to be so many people who want to help you, and you're welcome anytime. Door's always open. Well, here's the first person you might want to meet, Father Juan Pablo Marufo del Toro, S.J. He's a Jesuit priest. That S.J. just stands for Society of Jesus. He's a Catholic priest who's here for you. He not only is involved in our programs like retreats and liturgies and immersions, he's also a science teacher. So why not come get a little bit of help spiritually, but also scientifically? You never know what you might need. Father Juan Pablo is always also able to hear your confession, the sacrament of reconciliation. It's an important part of expressing our faith and wanting to be better people who live as men and women for others. So, Father Juan Pablo will always be here for you. There is no doubt, class of 2024, that the first person who's going to greet you when you come into the office sits right here. Mrs. Sue Hornbeck. She directs and helps us put together so many creative, awesome programs for formation in faith and justice. She's the person who can help you the most to get things started. Well, this is her desk, and you can see what inspires her. She's got a picture of Ignatius on the wall. She's got hearts. She's got crosses, remembering that Jesus is the center of our Catholic tradition. These types of things really matter to her, and it will show. No one has a bigger heart than Sue Hornbeck. So, when you come into the office, ask any question you like, and she can make sure you get to the right place or answer that question for you. Don't forget, too, Mrs. Hornbeck is also a Brophy parent. That's right, her son came here to Brophy and did a great job and now works at another Jesuit institution called Fordham in New York. So the tradition, the legacy, the wonderful things that we can do here as men and women with and for others is in our staff, in our faculty, our priests, our students, our families, and it lives on. Uh-oh, I think I might be late to class. So, already you've met Father Del Toro, Mrs. Hornbeck. Here we are. Now it's time, that's right, to meet yours truly, Mr. Paul Fisco. Let's come on in.
Excuse us, Mr. Fisco?
Oh, hey, Mr. Fisco. I'm Mr. Fisco. How's everything going?
Pretty good. Uh-oh.
I definitely think you're late to class, buddy.
Sorry.
I tell you, some of these guys... I know that won't happen to the class of 2024, though. They're too awesome. I can already feel it. Anyway, how can I help?
Well, I was hoping you'd kind of show us your office.
I would love to show you around to my office. Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit messy right now. We're working on a lot of great things to get ready for the class of 2024. You know how it is.
Yep.
All right, well, if you want to come around my office, I can show you a lot of cool things that the Office of Faith and Justice offers people like you, Mr. Fisco. Great.
Sweet.
If you want to know how to get involved in the Office of Faith and Justice, all you have to do is look at this huge board. It doesn't take a lot of time, but we've got service projects going on for sophomores, liturgies planned, immersion trips that we can take, all the retreats, Kairos and Magis. We've got so much to offer. And oh, by the way, for the class of 2024, we go on what is called Freshman Breakaway. We are in the process of planning. So Freshman Breakaway is going to be the way the class of 2024 first gets involved with doing service. But around my office, you can see, oh my gosh, here's a piece of a quilt from Alabama from our civil rights immersion. The ladies of Gee's Bend always love to see us, and they sent us a piece of their famous quilts. You could go on an immersion to El Salvador and study the culture, the people, the history, and the future of that country based on the wonderful witness of Saint Oscar Romero. Or you could stop on Human Dignity Street even in this office. The Summit on Human Dignity is a huge part of our school year, where 2 weeks we take on a subject of justice and we look at it through the lens of human dignity, using lots of resources. Oh, speaking of resources, this year's summit was on water. Water is life. It took 2 weeks to make sure that we're inspired for the rest of our lives to treat this resource as something sacred to us all. No wonder I have a map of Arizona water on my wall. Well, obviously there's so many other things that I could show you, but when you come into the Office of Faith and Justice, whether it's to do service, to help with a liturgy, maybe it's to go on an immersion trip, maybe it's to just come and hang out, all we know is that there's so much to do. Gee, thanks, Mr. Fisco. Really appreciate it. Hey, no problem, Mr. Fisco. I'm always here to help. All right, class of 2024, we'll be seeing you soon. Hey, class of 2024. All right, well, you've met Father Del Toro, Mrs. Sue Hornbeck, and now you've met that crazy guy, Mr. Fisco. Well, we're all here to help you in the Office of Faith and Justice. One of the big parts of being at Brophy is being about service. All of our service programs are amazing, and that freshman breakaway that Mr. Fisco mentioned, well, that's run with this guy, Mr. Will Rutt. Mr. Will Rutt is a graduate of Brophy College Preparatory and a Creighton University graduate, Jesuit institution. All right, way back there in the corner, that's where he resides, to be here for you to make sure that all those service opportunities, advocacy opportunities, lots to do to make sure that we're living our faith. He's here to help you. Never hesitate to see Will Rutt. See you soon. Sorry I'm late. Class of 2024. I was just back there in Mr. Will Rutt's office signing up for a service and advocacy campaign, which you should do too. Hey, welcome to this office. This is the office of the Alumni Service Corps, the ASC. The Alumni Service Corps is made up of Brophy alums. Brophy alumni who after college come back and you guessed it, they want to serve. They want to serve the school that made them so awesome to keep it going strong. They come in and they run our freshman breakaway. That's going to be for you guys, freshmen. They run our programs like Loyola Project for sophomores. They go on immersions. They help out with our retreats. They make sure all things get organized and done well. And they've got plenty of energy for it because it happened to them. That's what they did when they were here at Brophy. And they're continuing to help and serve. So you can always come in here to make sure if you have any questions or needs, or one of them reaches out to you to make sure you're lined up for your breakaway, or all of your paperwork is in for the freshman retreat, don't worry, don't hesitate, never fear. The ASC is here. Well, they're not here, but they'll be here. All right, see you soon. Okay, class of 2024, really important item. The Office of Faith and Justice, in partnership with the entire school, will be offering you a mandatory, awesome event called the Freshman Retreat. Families, please put this on your calendar. September 12th, that's a Saturday, and I mean all that Saturday. You freshmen, will be here on campus learning all about what it means to be men for others as you start your career at Brophy College Prep. This picture here is, of course, of the last freshman class. We take a really special photo to make sure that we remember this momentous occasion, the Freshman Retreat. It's really important that you are there. Get it on your calendars now, September 12th. We do lots of activities. We go do service. We pray. We play. We stay together all day and close the night with a mass. It is an amazing experience that gets everyone started off right. And don't forget, you're going to be in on this with your big brothers. Your big brothers are so important as role models for you of how to be men for others at Brophy College Preparatory. September 12th, we'll see you then. Actually, we're going to see you way before then. To close this time together, I thought we should end in the chapel. That's where we started, right? This special place is somewhere we hope you end up often. Place to pray, place to sit down and be quiet, and of course to experience God in however that works for you. It's an important space because ultimately, when we start your career in the chapel, which by the way, on orientation day, that's where you'll be, is to make sure that we keep revisiting every day in prayer or in meditation or just in some quiet time that God is in all things and God is always in our midst, loving us, helping us, granting us grace. It's just there for us to ask. We're going to be graces to each other. So in this chapel, we hope you take some time to pray. And of course, really important that you remember that it's because people believe in God and believed in God so much, that's the reason your school, Brophy College Preparatory, exists. So bring your energy, bring your willingness to be a part of the OFJ, the Office of Faith and Justice, and all of its programs. Bring your gifts, bring your faith, whatever faith tradition that is, bring it to Brophy because we're gonna help even form it even more, and we're gonna rely upon it to keep doing things AMDG for the greater glory of God.